had this problem the last time too. Okay, I'll stay on this side. I'm a middle school teacher with the Scholars Working OverTime. So I'm going to go over like how we're teaching kids to code on paper right now when we go to our lab. So what is SWAT? SWAT is an extended day college prep program for underserved students in East Las Vegas. We work in a very impoverished community. This is our 4th year. We started with 5th graders, and now we serve 120 7th and 8th graders. 85% of our students are second language learners. The majority of our students spoke Spanish as their first language, and our motto is impossible is not, which goes really well with coding on paper because, I mean, we can do anything. So why did I decide to teach my students to code? It's a real-life application of math skills, and we kind of have gotten rid of the students saying in math class, when am I ever going to use this? Because they see that it actually gets used in computer programming. Instant feedback on work. Obviously on a piece of paper it's not going to give you instant feedback, but on a computer when you hit run on your code or run a script and it doesn't work, you know there's an error. Empowering students to solve their own problems. This is especially important for students like mine who maybe feel like they don't have power in the world because of where they come from. Giving them the tools that they can use to create apps that will do what they want them to do. And then also arming students with the skill programming that not a lot of kids have, and it will make our kids competitive not only in college applications, but also in the job market. But the actual reason is I have been collecting data to share with families on student progress with behavior and academics for 7 years now, and it's all been done on clipboards and then entered into Excel spreadsheets, and it's been miserable as the program has grown. So I decided to learn how to code this summer in order to create a web app that could do this all on an iPad and give that data to parents either through text message or them logging on to the computer. So after I learned how to code, I was like, I have this skill that I can now share with my kids. We don't have computers, but I think it's valuable enough to spend the time teaching them. So my current coding class is 3 girls and 18 boys. I wish the ratio was a little bit more even, and I'm working on that to try to get my female students interested in it. So we started off at the beginning of the year just kind of like talking about algorithms and pseudocode and how you make something work when it doesn't know anything to begin with. So our motto at the beginning of the year was, the computer is only as smart as the person who programmed it. So they were figuring out that if they don't tell the computer to do something, then it's not going to do it. Or in this case, if they don't tell the paper to do something, I guess the paper's not going to do anything anyway. But they had to realize, like, if they handed a set of steps to a partner, the partner had to be able to recreate it. And if they were missing one tiny thing, their partner wouldn't be able to do it. So that was kind of how we started out the year. Then I wanted to introduce the idea of syntax and how computers speak different languages like humans speak English or Spanish or whatever. So this is the mind of a teenage boy. And we kind of just went over JavaScript if-else statements. There's a lot of really great ones. This is my favorite. And then we went into more practical JavaScript, like actual situations where you might use a loop or something like that. And it was really cool because my students were so into this that they would go home and get on their phones at home. Not a lot of them have computers at home. And I told them about the website Code Academy. And if you look at the timestamp on this text message that one of my students sent me, it's Friday night, almost 10 p.m. She's on Code Academy and she's like stuck on a problem. So she texted me and I think I was in bed actually. I was like, what does she want? So yeah, so it was really cool because they feel empowered by being able to make a computer do something. We moved on to HTML. They just learned basic HTML. They created like a table on paper and then actually tried to write out the code for creating that table. Divs, images, links, CSS a little bit. But then we moved on because like on a paper you can't really see what it's going to look like when you have your style sheet connected to your fake HTML on the paper. So this is just random hashes each loop, or times loops, I guess this. Just recently we've been working on creating classes. So this is an example, I know it's really small, but of a student creating a chef class. So they would create a chef and then the chef would have different methods like pasta, I guess is one of them. So the student passed in, looks like sauce type, and then it would like puts a little statement like the chef created a pasta with, and then interpolated pasta sauce. And I guess the chef has an energy level where it like decreases the energy if it cooks, so very creative. So at one point, we're housed in a high school, and the high school does have a lab, and when the high school is not using their lab, we can go down there. And so a couple weeks ago, I did take them to the lab, and it was funny because they were like, wait, like real programmers don't write on line sheets of paper first? and so they were able to see like what it's like to actually code on a computer and then be able to see it run. And it was really interesting to them because they started to see that every tiny little like mark that you make on the paper, or in this case, type on the computer, matters. If you don't include the word end at the end of a method, like your code is gonna break. So they were able to see like every little thing matters. And it's just been like a cool experience for me because I was cleaning up my classroom today, and like they're passing notes in code. Like, this is like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, this isn't really like an interesting note, but my favorite meal, they're passing in like food, drink, side, and then like an optional parameter, I guess. And then putting out like Ruby interpolation of like where they like to eat. So it's just really funny what they think of. And then earlier today, I gave my cell phone to the kids, and I was like, I go to this Ruby meetup, and they call it a Ruby hangout. They're like really intrigued by this, like what I go to on Wednesday nights. And I was like, if there's anything you want to say, like record it on the camera, and then I'll put together a little video. So this is what they came up with.
Hello, my name is Manuel. I'm a young coder in the process of becoming a professional. Thanks to Ms. Warbelow in her class, and she teaches me very like good things. And like what I just like about computer programming is watching like something just works convert into like a whole website. That's what I really like about this. And like I'm trying to take this to probably becoming a professional. I'm just seeing it as a future job.
But first we need to put the answer plus the next, well, not answer, anything number. So then we answer right. Hello, my name is Jeanette. I'm a student on the SWAT team. Why I joined computer programming is because I love to solve problems and challenges. The interesting thing about programming is that there's all these different types of languages and ways to solve problems on computers. And knowing how to code is just amazing to me. And I really love how we're learning different types of things on computers, and it's just a blessing to be
Grade. Each do.
I made a method and I sorted them into an array, and I made them all into a list, and I capitalized them all, and I'm putting them into like a list of the grocery list that I have, and which are potatoes, lettuce, and tomatoes, so it's gonna come out a list in alphabetical order of your items.
When I grow up, I want to make a website that will help a company out, or make a website to help a charity.
I love it too.
My name is Dalton Anderson. I'm on the SWAT team. I'm in this Warbelow computer programming class. We learned a lot from credits here.
Oh, is that it? No? No.
Here's the last one. Okay, well, his last thing that he said, I wish it played. He was like, if you guys have extra time, come visit us. It was adorable. I have 56 seconds, so I'll go through this really fast. So we raised $40,000 in 3 weeks, which thanks to you guys too, because I know a lot of you. We're getting 30 Mac Minis, and we're setting them up as pair programming stations, but also we'll have enough for a full class set in case we do want to do single stations. And our build date, hopefully, based on when all the parts get here from different companies, will be Sunday, December 1st. So my biggest problem right now is that I only have a couple months experience on my kids, which means they're going to catch up to me really fast. So I need help, and I am not good at asking for help, but if any of you would be interested in like mentoring kids or like coming and just showing them like tricks and tips and just kind of working with them on things, that would be so awesome. And hopefully sometime in the near future we could have like a small hackathon where like kids would be paired with like professional programmers and creating cool things. So I'm on Twitter, Warbelow, or you can email me, rachelwarbelow@gmail.com. And I'm